What's up, Airsofters? This is Cruz Foxhound from Team Phantom Fury of Airsoft Pacific in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and I have a video for you about proper hold on your airsoft pistol. Over the years of playing, I've come to take a great liking in using my airsoft pistol during play, and sometimes I won't even use an AEG or rifle. I'll be totally happy playing the game with my gas blowback pistol because I get great range out of it. I can move very quickly, it's very maneuverable and easy to run with. I have a lot less weight on me than with a rifle, although some rifles have much greater range than airsoft pistols. So anyways, look down in the description below if you want to skip ahead directly to the part about the proper grip. There's a time to click on down there in the description. But there's a couple other things I'd like to talk about before I get to those technical details. Like, first of all, if you have an airsoft rifle, do you actually need an airsoft pistol to play? And there's a difference between what we want and what we need. I want a lot of things, but I really probably don't need so many of them. In terms of cost alone, an argument could be, well, a good airsoft pistol will run somewhere around $100. For that same amount of money, I could take my AEG or GBB airsoft rifle, I could put in a new barrel, a good new hop-up and a bucking probably, and maybe even have a few bucks left over to get on the field next time. Or I can get a really nice new optic for my AEG rifle that I've been looking at to use on the field for a while. I very rarely in the field actually see even my own teammates pulling out their pistols because their rifles are very well tuned. They've instead invested in that. And, you know, the pistol is something that for a lot of guys on the field kind of just looks cool, or maybe they'll actually run out of magazines in their rifle and need to go to the pistol. But again, I almost never see that happen. Players who might actually need an airsoft pistol, first of all, are your snipers, because they have minimum engagement distance rules. On a lot of fields, it's 100 feet. Some of them is 50 feet. It depends. And what that means is if there is someone you want to tag out of the game with your airsoft gun, and you're a sniper, if they're within that minimum engagement distance, depending on the field, you're not allowed to shoot them. That's unsportsmanlike conduct, first of all. And secondly, it's against the rules because it's too much energy is in that BB and it could actually hurt somebody. So by having a lower velocity airsoft pistol, that allows a sniper to use that as a secondary and shoot someone who's too close. Another group of people who actually rely on pistols almost completely are indoor and speed QB folks. I see some amazing shooters who play indoors, for example, at Oregon Airsoft Arena, and all they're using is a pistol because it's very tight quarters, people are just running around very quickly, and a pistol is an ideal weapon in an environment like that, where a rifle is a lot less maneuverable, much harder to get around corners with that. You know, the pistol, I could just hold it right up here and just kind of peek around a corner, and that's all that's exposed. An argument could be made for the outdoor players that have transitions to indoor areas, as in the Connex boxes or the mount facility at Camp Rylea where we play, or if you have an airsoft field near you where there are indoor structures and you're within that 10 or 15 foot minimum engagement distance rule and you don't want to zap someone when you're shooting 400 FPS, it's a considerate thing to do to the other player to pull out a pistol and use something that's only shooting 330. You know, with green gas or something like that. Most of them, except for a very few that are tuned up, are shooting under 350. That's the whole point of the airsoft pistol. Now, having said that, I did mention I like to run mine as a primary, and that's because a lot of times I'm using my binoculars. The last time we played a game at Rylea, my M16 actually wasn't working. And so all I had was my pistol and binoculars, and I was on a recon team. And for me, that actually ended up being totally fine. I may have gone through 2 magazines in the course of like 4 hours, but that's okay because my focus in that game is to play reconnaissance. Do I engage people along the way? Yeah, it happens, but a lot of times it's more important for me to run away from a fight than get in the fight and not be able to deliver intelligence to the command structure. So that's how I play. So do you want it? Do you need it? It depends on your role, as in, are you a sniper? It depends on your style of play. Are you running reconnaissance? Are you playing indoor a lot? You know, maybe you do actually need one. Maybe it's going to bring you a great amount of enjoyment in the game. And maybe it's just going to sit on your hip and look cool and you're never going to touch it. Enough about all this. Let's talk about how to properly hold it once you decide that you want one. So this is the pistol that I'm using. It's a Wii Accelerator Dragon. First, I'm going to pull out the magazine and make sure it's empty. I'm going to look in there and make sure that there's nothing in there, and it is totally empty. So this is a safe pistol to work with, and I can even lock back the slide if I like, and I can see there is nothing in there, okay? Good thing I checked. When I'm holding my pistol, the first thing I do is I take my right hand and I want to hold it as high up on the tang in the rear here, on this beaver tail, as I possibly can. And that's going to give me a nice good grip as high up as possible, because the recoil of the gun is coming straight back over the top here. It would be ideal to have my hand actually aligned with the slide, such as to maximize my control of the recoil, but that's not possible. So I get as high up as I can. I take my fingers and I wrap them as firmly as I can around the grip, and I keep my finger off the trigger until I'm ready to shoot, until I am certain of my target, until I am ready to actually engage my target. My finger stays off this trigger. When I'm running, when I'm walking, I do not touch it. It's too easy to trip out there and accidentally shoot myself, be behind a teammate and accidentally shoot him or her. Finger off the trigger until I'm ready to shoot, even if I'm alone. And I'm going to take my left hand, and actually I want to keep both of my thumbs pointing forward. I'm going to take my left index finger and put it around the front of the trigger guard. And something I like about this pistol is it actually has a serrated front trigger guard there, and that's to give me a little extra grip on the front. I'm going to put my left thumb under my right thumb, and it's almost like I'm holding identically with both hands. I want my thumbs pointing forward as such. A lot of the control is in my left hand now. If I'm just shooting alone with my right hand, that's going to move around a lot, and I'll show you with a close-up shot in just a little bit. I'm going to bring the sights up to my eyes. I've got my back straight, my knees slightly bent, and I am focusing on the front sight. I'm not looking at my target with the sights blurred in the background. I'm focusing on the front sight, and I'm letting my target blur. And then when I'm ready to engage, I put my finger on the trigger and I squeeze it. So this is how you maintain control of the pistol. Let me take my gloves off and give you a more up-close look at what I'm doing here. Here is a better look at a proper grip on the pistol. I'm going to put my right hand as high up as I can on this grip and wrap my fingers around as such. My right finger is riding along the frame of this pistol. When I'm ready to shoot, I move it down and I use the tip of my finger, just this very tip here, to manipulate the trigger. I don't reach through like this and use the bend in my finger or the next joint. Most people I see using the bend in their finger. It's actually proper trigger control to use the pad of the index finger, as that's the most sensitive part of the finger. So I've got that riding on the frame. I take my left hand and I'm going to marry this right in there, just like this. I'm going to put the meat of the palm of my hand into there, and my two thumbs just kind of snug up to each other like that. Okay? I'm going to wrap these fingers around this side, and they fit right in there. And this finger is going to grab up on this front of this trigger guard. If you don't have a textured trigger guard right here, go out and pick up some skateboard tape and wrap this with some skateboard tape. You can get a really nice grip on that, just like that. Thumbs pointing towards the target. And this way I can easily manipulate the safety if I need to. In fact, I actually walk around with the safety on, and I ride the safety like this. So I've got my finger off the trigger and the safety on, and then when I'm ready to shoot, I just snap that down, and I'm ready to go. So I've got a good grip with my left hand, and that's actually going to do most of the controlling. For me, both hands squeeze about equally, but it's important to be able to isolate the pressure from my trigger finger when I'm ready to shoot, so that I'm not going like this or jerking the pistol in any kind of direction when I'm shooting. And when I get ready to shoot at my target, I'm keeping control of the airsoft pistol by making sure I've got a good grip on this frame here. And I look at that front sight, and I put that front sight over the blurry target, and then I pull the trigger. Well guys, I hope that was entertaining. I hope you learned something. And be sure to check out airsoftpacific.com for the latest goings on in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. Or if you're just curious about what's going on around there, whether or not you live there, it's a really cool resource for airsoft related stuff of all kinds. Anyways, thanks for watching. Feel free to post a question or a comment down below. And stay tuned for more videos. And I hope to see you at a game sometime. Play safe.